What's up, Rip City? Welcome to the second video of tonight. This would be the post-game show for the Blazers against the Thunder on the second night of a back-to-back. I just uploaded my Knicks video for last night because I wasn't able to get that up in time. So, on to tonight. So, the Blazers lost to the Thunder tonight, and I believe it was by one. No, it was by 2 or 3. It's done by 3. So the Blazers had three of their 5 starters were out, obviously with Nurk and CJ out for extended periods of time, and then Robert Covington out with a concussion tonight. And that's kind of rough for the Blazers because Stotts likes to run pretty strict lineup rotations, and I'm not a fan of that, but I think it'll be good to see other guys get more minutes tonight, and it was good to see them get more minutes, but it's always bad having Rocco out, just even though he's been kind of struggling. Maybe this will be a time that he can, you don't want someone to work on stuff while they're concussed, but maybe that he can get into his, back into his shooting rhythm, not by practicing, but just by focusing and calming down. I just wish the best for Covington. I've had a concussion before. They're not fun. And I hope he gets back as soon as he can, because the Blazers need him. Both teams were on the second night of a back-to-back. The Thunder were kind of underpowered. They didn't have Al Horford. They had Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was there, and Muscala was there, and he made the Blazers pay tonight. So without having Al Horford, the Thunder were at a big disadvantage at the center, and I was expecting Ennis to have a little bit more of a post-impact. I know that he had a lot of rebounds and he had a lot of second-chance points, but I was expecting a lot more post-ups in the post, just because Kanter's so much bigger, not just taller. I think he was 2 or 3 inches taller than everybody on the court at one point. But he's so much stronger than the centers that the Thunder would put out there. I just expected a lot more post-ups, and I just didn't see that happen tonight. But that was kind of disappointing to see. The Blazers got out to a slow start and just had to fight their way back into the game. I believe they were down by 20 at one point. And then they had to fight their way to get back. They actually had a lead, but they didn't get their first lead until the fourth quarter. And when you're playing the Thunder and you don't get your first lead to the fourth quarter, you don't really deserve to win that game. And it's not like it was close, because the Blazers had to fight back from a 17-point lead. It was very disappointing to watch, especially coming off of a great first half against the Knicks. Derrick Jones Jr. Goes down with an injury. It was a quad contusion, and he tried to come back to play, but he just seemed kind of hobbled, and I'm worried about him for long term. And having 4 of your 5 starters out, it was just kind of rough to see Derrick Jones Jr. come out, especially when he started to play pretty well in the last couple games. He's been catching lobs. He's been a lot more involved in the offense. But young fellas came alive tonight, and I say young fellas like they're not my age. So Anthony Simons, great game tonight. Obviously, him, Gary Trent, Dame, and Carmelo did a pretty good job on the offensive end. I believe all of them had over 20 points, even though Carmelo shot 1 for 6, and Dame was pretty inefficient from 3 tonight. Just rough to see, because if you make those shots, you'll probably win the game. But I know Melo took a lot of contested elbow jumpers, and a lot of them fell. Credit to him, but I think that it kind of took the offense out of the flow of the game, and I think that if they were able to get the ball into more people's hands, it would have been a better shooting night. Rodney didn't play at all tonight, which kind of surprised me. I don't know if he's got an injury that was not disclosed, at least not that I know of. But coming from starting and getting pretty significant minutes to not playing at all really surprised me. But Anthony played really well. Gary Trent played really well. Dame played pretty well, and Carmelo played pretty well too. Kanter had a couple good offensive rebounds. But again, if you don't get your first lead till the fourth quarter against the undersized Oklahoma City Thunder, you're gonna have problems. If you let Mike Muscala get off for over 8 threes in this game, you're probably gonna have an issue. Blazers need to get back on the three-point defense. That's one of the issues they've had a lot in the last couple games. Alex Burks drained a couple on them. Muscala drained a couple on them. They had a 26% three-point shooter shooting over 50% from 3 in Roby, I believe. So that was just rough to watch. So the problem, that I can see going forward is when you have three, potentially four of your starters out for any kind of game, you're going to have issues. But I mean, I'm glad it's Dame in, because if anyone can will us over a game, it'd be Dame. If you need to will over a game or two, and it's good that the young guys are coming out and playing pretty well. One thing that I've noticed about Anthony a lot is when he gets minutes, when he's allowed to get into the flow of the offense, he does really well offensively. If you look at a couple of the games he's had extended minutes, like this game, last game, and the Kings game a couple years ago, when he's allowed to work through one or two mistakes, a couple bad passes, errant three, weird shot in the post, he's gonna get his shot up, and he's a good scorer. So I wouldn't worry about Ant too much. I know that there's a lot of Blazers fans that aren't a fan of him, and they were pushing for another backup point guard. But I'm pretty confident having Anthony as the backup point guard, at least going forward until CJ gets back, especially if he shoots like this. So, with having Derrick Jones Jr. out with the possibility, these are my predictions for the Blazers starting lineup. If Hood's not injured, I can see Stotts going with Dame, Simons, Gary, Melo, and Kanter. That's kind of an undersized lineup, especially if you go against some of the bigger teams in the league. Having Gary Trent, who can play the three, but he's more of a two guard. That'd be a lot of threes to put up, but I mean, it's possible. If I'm guessing that's what Stotts would go with if Hood's has some kind of injury that I don't know of. But if Hood does not have an injury and Stotts just didn't play him for whatever reason tonight, I'd say this is the more likely. It'd be Dame, Gary, Rodney, Carmelo, and Kanter with Giles, Nas, and Anthony off the bench. And then you might have to bring in maybe Ellaby. Ellaby's a decent scorer. I think that if he got more minutes, he'd be all right. But I mean, that's what happens when you're down Collins, you're down Nurk, you're down Covington and Gary Trent. And you're down Derrick Jones Jr. It's just gonna be rough because you're already digging into your rookies, and you shouldn't have to do that before the All-Star break. And then I wish this would be the starting lineup would be Dame, Simons, Hood, Nas, and Giles. I think that Giles would come out with a lot of energy if he got the start, and I have nothing against Kanter. He does great with what he does, but especially going against smaller, quicker teams, I think Giles has a little bit of an advantage over Kanter being able to defend. And I am biased as a fan. I'm more partial to defense than I am offense whenever I suck it up at the YMCA games, but nothing wrong with a little bit of speculation. And I really wish the Blazers could have gotten a win tonight, and I'm very disappointed that it happened against the Thunder. This was a game that they needed to win. I believe now they're 9-7, and going to 10-6 would be a lot better than 9-7, and obviously. And just seeing that the win get in the double digits, it'd be good to see. I think it'd be a good boost to the team. But down 4 starters, I think you're going to have issues. I really hope that Derrick Jones Jr. comes back sooner rather than later. And just to end on a positive note, I got to say again, great job, Anthony Simons. You are the Eye Test Award winner tonight with 26 points, 1 assist, 2 rebounds, shooting 10 of 17 from the field and 6 of 10 from 3. Very, very good to see Anthony being able to shoot not only the 3, but getting a couple buckets on the inside, which he's really struggled with the past couple games. I think a lot of his made shots are from the 3-point line. And just seeing a couple shots going from the mid-range and close to the basket, especially that dunk. That dunk was amazing. Off the right foot with the left hand. That's really, 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 really athletic, and I was very impressed by that. Not that it matters, but just really fun to watch as a fan, and otherwise disappointing game. So it looked like he got into a great flow early in the game, and once he gets his confidence up, he seems like there's nothing really he can't do. And I'm really excited to see. I hope he gets more minutes, and I hope it's able to give Dame and CJ a little bit more of a rest when they need it, so they're not so worn down on the stretch. So anyway, Rip City, hopefully the Blazers will bounce back from this one, and I know they got at least a 2-day rest before their next game, and hopefully they can rest up, heal up, and be ready for the next one. So All right, see you, Rip City. Peace out.